Welcome to the Whitetail Legacy Podcast.
Tomorrow is opening day.
This morning, didn't have a great hunt. Deer didn't move like usual.
We just got set up in the middle of this bedding thicket. Saving the spot from the rut. It's a nice, I think it's a nice buck.
Boom! Hits a 170.
That was money. I think he's down right over there, maybe 10 yards.
Whitetail Legacy Podcast, bringing you back to the hunt and leaving a legacy.
That OG real dream.
Here we go again. Guess what day it is? It's Wednesday. It's Whitetail Legacy Wednesday coming at you. I hadn't done that coming at you in a while.
No, you
Kicking
haven't.
it back old school. Here we go. We got John on from Kentucky, crushing early season buck. He's 3 years in a row right now before the 19th of September, right?
No, he shot that one the 29th. of September.
29th. Okay, yeah, I got my nines just mixed up, but in September. Okay.
Yes.
150 something, a 177, and a 160s back to back to back in early season. This guy's got it going on. He knows what to do. He goes over that early season Kentucky that is so intriguing to us, and I learned a lot here.
Yeah.
If we ever do go to Kentucky and try it out, I will definitely be using some of these techniques. Or even if a season opens up like the 15th, like Missouri, we could definitely use some of those techniques down there. I'm going to get in with our partners real quick. We're going to start off with a VIP veteran broadhead. I got to talk to him today. He's got a lot of stuff going down right now. He's inventing, he's distributing, he's got a lot of stuff going on. So I'm really excited that we're part of that family right now. We're going to be tied in soon with other people from the VIP family and get to share it with you guys on here. That's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to hit you with a really special VIP veteran shout-out today. This is from Twitter. I'm getting some VIP shout-outs from Twitter now,
Nice.
so that's pretty sweet. This is from Forensic Whitetail. If you guys are on Twitter, this guy is incredibly knowledgeable. I mean, if you asked a question, he has picture or video proof of something and how it happened. It's just insane. But this is his son. It's at Ben Micho, and he is an second lieutenant of the United States Marine Corps, and he sent a bunch of pics. Hopefully we can tag one of these pics with a VIP shout-out. Is that something we can do, tech guy?
What do you want to do?
Tag a pic with a VIP shout-out. Can we do that?
Ooh. Going next level on me, bro.
Well, we're going to try. But just a big shout-out to Ben. Thank you for your service, man. It looks like you're crushing bass, turkeys, and deer and serving the country all together. So, and we can't thank you enough from us, the VIP family, and everybody at the Whitetail Legacy Podcast crew, which is just me and homie. We act like there's a whole...
like we got 12 people in the back office.
We got like 9 interns in the back office that all they do is just sell T-shirts and and rep stuff. But yeah, and again, follow Forensic Whitetail. We hope to have him on coming soon. That is going to be a super knowledgeable episode. I cannot wait for that. Let's get into scent lock. Do you had a flyer that you wanted to go over?
No, I think we're done with the flyer.
We're done with the
bro.
flyer. Okay.
Yeah.
So we covered the socks, right? You got a pair of the socks on.
I do have a pair of the socks on.
So we covered the socks. How are the socks feeling?
Dude, they're nice.
They're really nice.
They're really nice.
Yeah.
Good, stretchable. They're not like a pain in the ass to get on.
Yeah.
They just go right on.
Nice.
Keeping your feet nice and cool.
Have you done a smell check yet?
I've not done a smell check. However, I've been here keeping my feet warm in front of the heater.
Yeah, I know.
And hasn't went south yet.
My feet aren't sweating in these rubber boots in this room. I'll tell you that right now. So yeah, check out ScentLock. They just released a whole line of socks. I'm excited to get a couple pairs and try them out.
Yeah, you got to.
And see what it's all about. I know they've been going kind of crazy on social media right now. ECW calls. We just did a giveaway on Twitter. If you guys aren't on our Twitter, you're missing out
No, bro, that was like 3 weeks ago.
on the giveaway. Well, this is the first time they heard about it.
Oh, it was?
Yeah, I haven't said it on a podcast before.
I thought we were...
Yeah, no, we did a giveaway on Twitter 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
And you guys missed out, is what I'm saying. And we gave away some ECW turkey calls. Homie's going to go with the triple threat this year.
Yes.
I'm going to go with the what's the double-sided one called? We're going to call it the double threat right now. It's a slate and glass combo. Going to have both. No, the slate's not engaged. The glass is etched with our logo.
Right.
If you guys want a turkey call from ECW, hit us up. You want a grunt tube, custom engraved, hit us up. We'll put the connections to get you to Jeff and get whatever you want. Handmade by a veteran in America. And Ingram's Outdoor Obsession. Are you going to take a turkey to him this year, or what is your plan?
I really plan on it.
When this releases, it's going to be close.
It's down in my budget.
It's down.
Gotta
it's
get
in
a
your
turkey
budget.
to Ingram. Yep.
I'm going to do one of those Indian mounts that I'm talking about.
That's sick. Still haven't shown me the picture, but
Yeah,
okay.
I know. I need to show you that picture. I'll get on that. But
I've heard that. I've listened to that intro about 5 times. Still have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, I'll show you the pics. But anyways, I'm going to do that, and then hopefully you get a turkey down. You can take it to him.
Yeah.
This that clean fan spur combo that he does. It looks nice, reasonable price, and something that you can just remember turkey-wise if you don't want to go full body. But there might be something coming down the line for him where that might be an option coming soon.
Possibly.
All right, that's all the partners, right?
I think so.
Man, we're getting good at this.
Yeah.
All right, here is John. If you don't think he knows anything about deer hunting, you're gonna have a good time just by laughing with him and with us. So, so this is gonna be knowledge and entertainment. I can guarantee that. So here we go. All right, we got John on. What is your last name, John?
Workman.
Oh yeah, Workman. Yeah, I got that on
Really?
Facebook. I got that on Facebook. Yeah,
I can't believe
that's a
you just
solid
asked
last
that.
name,
Yeah.
Workman. Yeah.
Well, let's not get carried away. We'll get into that
I
here
mean,
momentarily.
Solid guy. Okay, last name.
Yeah.
All right, man. So we met on Twitter. What, maybe like a month ago or so?
Yeah, maybe a couple months ago.
Yeah, man. And you've been following us on there, and I reached out. Oh yeah, it was quite a while. I reached out, and then our schedule was kind of messed up about getting you on. And you've been just getting it done early season like a champ, man. You got it figured out. So we wanted to get you on here and do a little BS session with a little bit of early season knowledge combined. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, yeah. That sounds great to me, boys. I talk deer hunting anytime.
So where exactly do you live?
I live in Boyd County. It's in Kentucky. I live in the if you just picture it, I live where Ohio, Kentucky, and West Virginia meet.
Oh, nice. So
Oh,
you're
damn.
far
Way
away.
out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I live in the far northeast corner.
Is it's pretty mountainous there or hilly there? Or
Yeah, it's not super steep. Once you get down towards the southeastern part, then you get into the big mountains. But yes, it is hilly here. I mean, it's grueling at times.
nice. So how long you been hunting and how'd you get started into it?
Well, my dad hunted. My family hunted. I grew up, started squirrel hunting, rabbit hunting, that kind of stuff. My dad, of course, back 30 years ago or so, most people hunted for meat. And Dad introduced me to hunting in Kentucky. You couldn't start then until you were like 11 or 12. So I would say 28 years. That would I'm 40 now, so that would put me 12 when I first started.
Nice. What's your day job?
Well,
This is where the workman part comes in.
Yeah.
But anyways, I'm a locomotive engineer. I drive trains, brother.
Nice. We fix
I
the
tear up
tracks
what
and
you
you
all-
drive the trains.
I was like, you break it, we
Yeah.
fix it.
Yeah.
That's what I say. I tear up what you all fix.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. You meet someone that, is in the same trade as you and you have no idea. And that's just a shout out to Twitter. If you guys don't follow us on Twitter, the listeners, you need to follow John and you need to follow us because John's spitting knowledge all the time plus jokes, so you can't beat that. And we say something funny almost every day and sometime knowledgeable. You get like 1 ounce of knowledge a week from us.
Just about like this podcast.
Yeah, it's about like this podcast. If you want entertainment, follow us. If you want knowledge, follow John.
Don't follow me for knowledge. I have fun with Twitter, you know. I never used Twitter, and I started using it and found hunting group on there. Basically, you know, like you said, everybody. If you get inside our group, you know, what is there, about 200 of us or so, maybe?
Yeah.
And everybody's a lot of fun to talk to. Nobody puts each other down. I like it. I like that group of people.
Yeah, it's a super solid group and a lot of knowledge and a lot of different styles of hunting all combining in one. And I ask stupid questions every day to get people riled up, but I think it's a lot of fun.
But a couple days ago,
I gotta answer those things every day too.
I know you're a solid replier, man. Yeah.
But a couple days ago, a couple people went back and forth, and then the cool thing about it was, at the end of the day, everybody's like, "All right, I learned a bunch from you. I learned a bunch from you too. I can see both sides of it." And everybody walked away.
Yeah.
Just cool.
Yeah.
You know.
It's just 'cause it's that group. You know. It's
just
solid.
Yeah, that's what I like about it. You know, and like you said, of course, I don't know who all. There's a ton, you know, got Nebraska on there. You got, of course, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Kentucky. I mean, we're scattered all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody's hunting's different, you know. I mean, and I probably couldn't hunt a lick in Illinois, you know, because I've never done that. But in Kentucky here, I've just learned it over the years. So, and this is like y'all couldn't come here and probably be very successful.
Yeah, but, not for a while, I guarantee it. When we were driving through Kentucky, I was like, right. Man, I just don't know about this. I'm like, there ain't an acorn tree in sight. You know what I mean? Yeah. Where we were at, I'm like, I don't even know where to begin here. Where's an Oak Ridge at?
Yeah, now see, you hunt the same type of lands I do then, because, you know, we have a lot of oak ridges, you know, oaks and stuff like that. You all drove, when you're talking about when you went to ATA?
Yeah.
Yeah, you drove through farm country down there, didn't you?
Yeah, and there's
it was just like small wooded areas.
Yeah, there's a lot of
no mature trees,
maple and hedge and stuff like that. No mature timber that we could see. So
yeah, see, that's what I learned is, of course, you know, working for the railroad, I go up to Columbus too, so I go through Deer City, USA, boys. I mean, I've seen the world record. I believe would be the world record. He was a monster, but you know, I look at those places and I think, man, I guess you just climb in one of those ditches and hang up.
Yeah. You know, what do you do?
I'm just going to hold tight in this ditch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you'd probably get it done.
Yeah, you probably would,
I'm just saying.
So
Go ahead.
So you're like the king of early season hunting, which is fascinating to us because you're hunting and tagging out before we're even out there, man.
Yeah.
So we wanted to have you on and go over the early season. I know that you guys have that early season, and 8th and Tyne hunted it this year, and you guys had an early season even before you normally did, right?
Well, the season comes in the same Saturday every month or every year. It comes in the first Saturday of September.
First Saturday of September.
So it just depends. You know, like this past season, I think it come in September 1st or 2nd. This coming season, 2019, I've already looked it over. It comes in the 7th. You know, so it just depends on when the Saturday falls.
I see. Kind of like our shotgun season then. It just depends on where the Saturday weekend falls.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how it works. And, I mean, I enjoy it. It's hot, but, man, I enjoy it. It's totally different type of hunting.
Yeah, I could see that. So September 1st or first Saturday, right? So I mean that's at least 3 weeks before we even get to start. We're running cameras and finishing up food plots and stuff like that. But we're normally staying out of the woods as much as we can around that point. You know, and you're crushing in. So I think I'm going to learn a lot. This is going to be cool. Like you said, you know, if we ever did get to, we were looking at the Kentucky out-of-state tag price, and it's not that bad. Mm-hmm. So we were like, man, you know, we might give it a shot one time. When we don't want to go to Missouri a year, we might go to you know, Kentucky. So,
well, Kentucky raised theirs because you know we did have the first elk herd east of the Mississippi River.
Yeah.
Well, they implemented and they reintroduced elk into our state. obviously a lot of out-of-staters, would soon travel to Kentucky to hunt as opposed to go to Colorado or whatever. So they really raised our prices. Our prices used to be really low. I mean, like you're talking 125, 130 to hunt out
Wow.
of state Kentucky.
Yeah.
But I accidentally, honestly, the way I started hunting early season, it was an accident. Uh, there's about 20 acres behind my house, and I just moved in over here, and I got a stepson. He's 12 now, but he was what, I don't know, 9, 8, 9 then. And my dogs were barking out back, and I stepped out back to look, and I seen a deer, and it was just a little old basket rack, buck. But I thought, Jacob wants to get into this, and I run a lot of trail cameras, so I thought, well, I'll go out here and hang a trail camera, and I'll let Jacob take care of it. This is your camera. I taught him how to use it, taught him how to open it, everything, how to be sent, try to be scent free, trying to get to it or whatever. And I pulled it the first time, and I was totally shocked. Uh, I had a very, very mature buck on it, and I was like, wow, this is kind of neat. So I decided, I thought, well, I'll just give it a shot. So I went back in there and set me up a ground blind. Actually, I changed that a little bit. I had plans on hanging a tree stand, and I couldn't find a place to hang a stand on opening day. So I left and went back and with a ground blind that afternoon and set it up and killed him on September the 15th. So it was probably 12 or so days in the season. I don't remember what season it came in, 16, but that's how it all got started with me.
Man, that's cool. I might steal that idea about giving a trail camera to your kid. I think that's a cool idea. Really teaching them the fundamentals of scent control and how a camera act and formatting a card. When when they get to that age, 8, 10. I wish someone set me down at 8, 10 and was like, "This is how you run trail cams." I'd be way above the game. You know what I mean? So that's a great tip, man.
The bad thing though is once I got a picture of that buck, I kicked him out.
yeah, he probably couldn't hunt anyways. He's too young. I'd be the same way. I'd be like, now this is what a big buck looks like, and now I'm gonna go shoot it.
All right, you did your job. Daddy's turn.
Yeah. So you put that ground blind in. Where did you end up shooting him, on a field, or where'd you end up shooting that buck at?
Yeah, I shot him on the edge of a clover. I put some clover in a field, and I shot him on the edge of a clover field.
Nice.
You hear that, Mark?
He came out. Actually, he was daylighting there. He would be there between 4 and 6:45 in the morning, and I didn't know what to do, so I got to thinking, how am I going to get this deer? How am I going to get in there at daylight if he's there? So I actually went and got my blind at 4 o'clock in the morning and sat there for almost 3 hours before daylight.
Yeah, that's what it takes. And that's the beauty of trail cameras. You're like, well, he might be here at 4, so I better be in there before him, and then I'll just wait him out, and hopefully he hangs out a little bit till shooting light. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I got another tip that I use a lot too. I'll mention it a little bit later, but he's the one proved to me that it works. Because I saw him the day before going in, I bumped him. But
I see.
He taught me how to get a deer to come to you early season.
All right. So it seems you're super successful not only finding deer but finding big deer early season. So how are you doing that?
There's a lot of ways. A lot of times I go off my past year. Like this year, for instance, was a new piece of land that I'd never hunted. Last year when I killed my booner, I found him. He came in December because I feed. Not really year round, but I do. I try to keep my herd healthy. So like if the winter gets real bad, then I will feed heavy because I'm trying to keep my deer healthy. And he actually came in December and started feeding, and I was like, wow, look at that thing, So I just continued to just pour the feed to him, and he kept coming and kept coming. And, of course, we've talked a lot about shed hunting stuff, personally, but I don't shed hunt. I don't really have a whole lot of time because, obviously the way I work. I have time really to hunt, so
Yeah.
I don't use my vacation time to shed hunt or anything.
Mm-hmm.
But I found one of his sheds, and it was my goal. I wanted his left side shed. It had 10 points on it that year, and I found it. Somebody else found the right side. They won't give it to me, but anyways, I just kept feeding. I just kept him, and I did everything I could possibly do to keep him around. I didn't want him to have any reason to leave before September, and that's what I did with him. But now, the easiest way, Kyle and I do it together. My buddy Kyle, he's I spend a lot of time with him. We do a lot of notebooking and planning, but we do a lot of glass and bottoms. We glass a lot, open bottoms, trying to find something early. I run a lot of minerals in the spring. I'll start them about March, and I'll run them. Because I run my minerals year round, but I refresh them 3 times a year. I try to do March, and then during the summer, depending on your deer population too, how much traffic they're getting. I do a lot of food plotting. I like food plotting. It gives the deer a reason to stay around all of them, not just certain ones, but and run a lot of feeders. Like I said, just trying to keep my herd healthy. But cameras, I move my cameras constantly. What I found is a big buck early season, or during the summer, they won't move a whole lot. They trying to stay cool. Obviously we know what the temperature's like. Can you imagine having hair all over you?
Yeah.
So we move around a lot. Even if it's just 100 yards, you put a camera here, you're not getting anything, you move it. And you just finally, when you find that one deer, you hone in on that area, you just kind of cut everything else loose. That's how we do it.
Yeah, I could see that working good. We kind of have that. It seems like once you find them, you get a bunch of trail cam pictures of them in the summer, and then they kind of fade off. But their summer range for most bucks, if there's not very much pressure, it's really small. You know what I mean? They're just waterbed food. That's literally all they're doing in the summer. So if they don't have to go a long way to get that, they're going to be there.
Yeah, water is a big key in the summer. I think it's a bigger key in the rut, but in the summer, they're just trying to stay cool. That's all. Their antlers are, from everything I know of. I'm no biologist or anything, but they're kind of like a radiator. With that blood flowing through them and stuff.
Yeah, I can imagine that. It's like wearing a scent lock beanie all the time.
Yeah. I heard you have a nice one of those.
Yeah. Yeah, I snagged that.
Oh, wow.
So, sometimes your buddies leave stuff laying around.
I know.
Yeah. But John, man, Cody and I are in the same situation like you with that booner. We had a deer randomly show up in December, and you're lucky enough to be able to entice him to stay around. Be like, all right, you got water here. I'm gonna feed you. Plenty of does around. I'll give you a food plot here and there. Us, all we got is like, hey man, we're just gonna stay out of the woods. You come in here, and it's nice over
Do
here.
Do your thing, bro.
Yeah.
Find this sweet bedding area. I just shot the biggest buck off the area. You're the top dog now. Just kind of hang out.
I would say, we don't have much we can really do, especially with that piece.
Can you all not feed in the off season?
We can't do anything, man.
No minerals, no feeding. The only thing we do is food plots.
Okay, I didn't know. I knew you couldn't feed during season, obviously, but I didn't know if you could feed in off season.
Nope, and we're just lucky to have a deer like that on trail cam in December.
Yeah, we're hoping. A lot of times those winter bucks, I've had them where they're gone. They only come in the winter, and then I've had them where they stay. So we'll just see what this one does. He's a giant. I'll tell you, I'll send you some pics after the show.
Right.
But
just send me GPS coordinates where you're at.
It's past the third tree. Take a left, cross the creek, find the stand that's 5 foot off the ground. That's where you need to be.
Okay. I'm scared of heights. I like on the ground.
All right, if you really went to the stand the way that we accessed it this year to get to it, dude.
You'd be like, I'm an American Gladiator right now.
Brutal.
I probably wouldn't go then.
Dude, it's literally maybe 110 yards, and I stopped 3 times to catch my breath getting to it. I mean, it is just wild.
Yeah, we have to deal with that. That's the good thing about it, or the hard thing about hunting Kentucky, or the good thing. We do have a lot of hills, so you're lazy hunters. I call them lazy hunters. People who just want to hunt off a four wheeler or get just 25 yards off four wheeler or whatever. You get back in that stuff, man, where them deer want to be, and you get away from all the people too.
Yep. So when around here, about the 15th of September, all the bucks are shed. So when do your bucks normally shed? Do you have any chance to chase a velvet buck up there?
Oh yeah. That's the reason everybody floods Kentucky. I've noticed, just like this past year, velvet hunts were being offered to some of these outfitters, man. Like, I mean, ridiculous prices, $5,000-$6,000 because we can kill them velvet. My buddy Kyle, I mentioned a minute ago, he actually killed in velvet this year. He killed 8-point in velvet. The buck I killed, I saw first day of season. I couldn't get a shot off at him, so I let him go. He was in full velvet that day.
Wow.
But they shed about the same time, really just depending. Now, I've seen them shed the 2nd, and I've seen them shed, the 25th, just depending, I guess, on like everything else.
Yeah, well, I know a buddy who shot one here in like the 15th of October that was full velvet still. So I think, some bucks are different or maybe don't have the testosterone level, but it seems like September 15th, you can pretty well guarantee that all bucks are shed around us. So.
Yeah, that's about the way it is here. You can figure, the one I killed in 2016, he actually, he had shed his velvet, but obviously he hadn't been rubbing enough to where he still had a little bit of that dried velvet down and around his bases and stuff. But,
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
You can figure, like you said, the 15th, this same here, you can figure they're all going to be out of velvet.
Yeah, I could see why Kentucky's getting flooded. That's kind of like a bucket list for me. A velvet buck would be real cool, something different that you don't see all the time. And to be able to have the chance to hunt them. I mean, to be able to be on them and kill the first weekend, that just seems hard to me. Because even if you're on a deer on trail cam, you got to get out there and see what he's doing to be able to really kill him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's like I said this year. I got the buck I killed. He actually came in on opening day, and I wasn't. I mean, I was prepared for him, but I wasn't. So I made an adjustment, and I knew the next time he showed up that he wasn't leaving there.
Yeah.
So. He actually taught me, because like you said, I hadn't been out there. I was trail camera, but I had it in my mind. This is where I need to be. And when he come in, I was like, uh-oh. Yeah. So I had to make an adjustment, and I made it, and the rest is history, I guess.
See, we'll think we have a buck pretty well locked down, and we're like, all right, when he sheds velvet, he's still going to stay around. And then, we get to that September 15th, 20th range, and then it's like cameras kind of shut off for 2 weeks, and then it might be until October 10th to the 15th before we start getting bucks back on cam, and then, of course, they're at night, so we're like, man, dude, where'd this guy go?
Yeah, I noticed really a lot from being in this early season. You can figure whenever you see, the way I figure it is, when you see one starting to shed, and you can tell if he's going to start shedding, he's going to disappear for a couple of days at least. Once, for some reason, it just seems to me that way. He'll disappear for a couple of days while he's shedding. I don't know if from what I heard, it's very painful on him. But I don't know if he's just laying there, relaxing or what. But they seem to disappear for me. And then you're all been a little bit more north of me when your nuts start to fall. Our early season is great, but when the first acorn falls, it's over.
Yeah, same here, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so...
You might be able to kill them on a food plot or a cornfield or something, but when the acorns start falling, you got to get in the timber because it's just, they're not there.
And then that's when they go nocturnal on us. They go from their summer pattern to their, fall pattern. And my opinion, as long as the weather's warm, and I'm not talking, 90, even 80s, but as long as it's warmer of a night still, they're going to stay on that summer pattern. Once the weather breaks at night, then watch out because that's when they're going to be up moving.
Yeah.
I think this year was the first year that I seen if you were able to be right where the acorn had fallen, you were going to be in the money.
Mm-hmm.
But if you weren't literally right where the acorns were falling, you're out of the game.
Yeah, yeah. There's and I've never been a reader as far as of articles and stuff on how to hunt or whatever, but it's just like a human, in my opinion. There's restaurants that you prefer, and I'm sure that there's a section of timber that's probably better than others. So they probably hit certain sections of timber at different times because of the way the nuts are. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So with it being, you were hinting on it earlier, with it being early season, how are you seeing that the bucks are reacting to that hot weather in the early season?
They're very lazy. I mean, really, like we said, they don't move a whole lot. They try to catch the shade. They, of course, obviously, they're not going to move in the hot of the day. Now, that big buck I killed in 2017, for some unknown reason, he was an afternoon mover. The hot 90, 100-degree day throughout the summer, you could bank on it. He was coming in. I don't know if it's because there's a pond and he was going to water at that time of day, and then he would just swing down, and do a little feeding before he went back to bed. I didn't pressure him. I stayed away from him because he was so big. And so I didn't really learn where he went. I didn't push into the timber real far, but that's just what I assumed. So I just, I don't know, man. I'm that type of person. I want to stay cool too. So that's just my opinion. Everything is all about them trying to stay cool.
Yeah, so maybe hunting next to water where there's food also, or hunting where there's heavy, overgrowth to where there is some shade to where you think they're bedded.
Yeah, that's what I think. Obviously, in the hills here, some places shade earlier than others. I like those food plots that shade earlier in the evening. They get the morning sun and the afternoon sun, and then they shade earlier in the evening. 6, 7 o'clock, they start getting shade. I think weather obviously, controls a lot of what they do in the heat, in the rain. They like to move in the rain because it is cooler and it keeps the bugs off of them. We all seen them blown with flies. So that rain keeps all that stuff off of them. So they just.
Yeah, man, what do you do with the bugs that early? I haven't even thinking about that. By October 1st, it's a little bad, but most of the time up here we've had a frost already to kind of wipe out a little bit, but I couldn't imagine September 1st being out. When we're hanging stands or cameras, we're like, this is savage.
No,
just
think when we checked cams, every cam we had, we checked it in one day. Yeah. Dude, I got scars on my arm.
Yeah. Mosquitoes,
man.
Well,
that's a little bony arm, but but now, honestly, I decided whenever we was going to do this, I wasn't going to mention any product names, but I will mention this one because it's the only one I know of. I use a Thermacell.
I've heard a lot of people use a Thermacell.
I use a Thermacell, but obviously we all hunt the wind pretty much, so the Thermacell doesn't affect anything. That's what I do. And now early season, checking cameras, that stuff, I try to use that Sawyer's. I get it at Walmart, that Promethean or whatever how you say it.
Yeah.
Permethrin or that's what I use because I get eat up with chiggers for some reason. I must be sweet.
You are a pretty sweet guy, John. I say.
Yeah. Don't ask my wife.
So around here, our buck's about what, September 20th?
Yeah.
Just go nocturnal as hell. When are you seeing that your bucks are just they're in the daylight in the morning, in the evening, and then they just are like, I'm going nocturnal?
It's like we know they're out of velvet. They'll give us one picture, and then they're gone until like the 10th of October.
Yeah.
I think honestly it just depends on pressure. if they feel pressured, obviously your bigger bucks are going to go nocturnal earlier. Some of them probably live that way, honestly. But like I said earlier, I think when the weather breaks and it starts to cool down some, they're kind of getting in their mojo, where they're going to move at night. And then if the nuts are falling, you can bank that summer pattern's going to end quick.
Yeah, I could see that. So when we get that early frost, that might coincide with the acorns starting to drop heavy. They're not getting up early to go to the fields because they're staying in the timber the whole time anyways.
Yeah, and that's what I think. Most people always in their summer, in their summer ideas, they always want to be in the green because that's soybean fields. Obviously, they don't get corn early, but clover fields, alfalfa. So most all your people are getting pictures in the wide open, or you're seeing them when you're driving down the road because they're out feeding in the. I don't know that they actually are going nocturnal, at night or going to night because of the nuts, but I think it's just because we're not getting pictures on the green.
Yeah.
Instead of making a move early with your cameras, everybody just leaves them on there because, of course, it is September the 20th and everything's still green. But when the nuts start falling, that's their primary food, and they just live in the timber.
I think it's important to bring up that I had a guy at work talking to me, and he was asking me about hunting. He was just getting into it, and he's like, well, how much do you hunt? And I was telling him that I don't access, my ground hardly at all, or try not to, And then he was like, well, how are those bucks so hard to kill? They don't even know you're out there. And then I tell him, well, you can do whatever access you do, but you can't control what the neighbor's doing. So if that buck's been bumped 2 times in the early season by the neighbor, he's going to be nocturnal whether he is on your piece or not, because that's just what he's used to. So
just pressure,
I think that has a part, like you said, pressure. I think even if you're on your piece with no pressure, you have no idea what the neighbor's doing. You have no idea what the farmers are doing, and stuff like that would just be like, and I've heard some people say it's the daylight. Once they know it's getting shorter in daylight, then they turn nocturnal. It's like just a thing that's been bred in them to be like a safety feature, which I could see that too. But I think, like you said, it's pressure, and even people that are doing it right and pressuring little, you have no idea what your neighbors are doing,
That's exactly right. And, I don't, there's all kind of different ways to pressure, I think, depending on where you hunt. If you hunt out in God's country in the wilderness, obviously your deer are going to be more subject to humans. They don't want to be around a human. They've never been around a human. If you hunt more toward a suburban type area, then your deer are more used to humans, so you could actually go in more because or like even ride a 4-wheeler or an ATV or SUV or a side by side or whatever, because they're used to those smells.
Yeah, they see them all the time.
And so I think the piece that I hunted this year, I actually would ride my 4-wheeler to my camera.
Yeah, I know a lot of people that do that.
Yeah. I would never step off my camera or off my 4-wheeler. I would check my camera and I would get out of there. And it never affected anything. But now if I go out to my farm out in the county, you probably better not do that, because they don't see as many, 4-wheelers. So pressure, obviously anything has to do with pressure.
Just like me and homie, I mean, there's just like, do what they know. We're making a blind out of an auger wagon. I don't know any deer in Illinois that don't know what an auger wagon is. You know what I mean? So I feel like I should be able to pull that thing in there and there's a deer licking it the next day. That's what in my mind is what I'm thinking, because they're in the field all the time. They're so used to seeing them. And I'm hoping when we just pull that in there, like, oh, it's just an auger wagon,
Oh, yeah. And another thing, is, obviously, we're going into their home territory. If you walk in your house and say you've been gone for a week and there's something wrong or something different in your house, you notice it.
Yeah.
So no matter if you don't go in, if you don't go in for weeks at a time, if that deer walks through and he's out, I mean, look, something's not right here. Something's changed. So they're not dumb creatures. People think because you hit them with cars or hit them with trains or whatever that they're a dumb creature, but they're very, very intelligent.
Yeah, they know how to survive. They're the kings of that. So
Yeah, they're tough. They're tough.
So we talked a little earlier, and you said that you use topo maps quite a bit to locate where a buck might be. How are you doing that?
Well, I use a lot of maps. I spend a lot of time looking at maps, and it differ. There's a difference in summers and falls. In the summer, I'm looking for places that shade early, places that are cooler. You've ever just been walking through the woods and all of a sudden it seemed like the temperature dropped 15 degrees and it's like, whoa, know. I like those type places because obviously if I feel it, they feel it. Places for like wind tunnels, where a buck can lay and get good wind, but he's still, if he's looking over a hill one way and you can't get into him from the other way, obviously he's at the advantage, but the wind will blow him good there. I look for water on maps, where I can try to find water. Creeks, obviously mud holes don't show up on there, but if you see a road, obviously there's going to be a mud hole somewhere in there. That's what I look for in the summer. Now in the fall of the year, I look at totally different things. I look for more like pinch points or travel corridors, like a lazy point that drops off the hill. A hub. What we call a hub is, if you're looking at a map, you'll see like a spot. It's like, looks kind of like a circle, but like it's like where four hollows, come together.
Yeah.
And it makes like a hub there. And they love those because, if you come in from one direction and one bounce, they can be in a total different part of the country, away from you. So I found in the rut in the hills, they really like to travel those because the does like them. They feel safe there. Low gaps. And I don't know what y'all call them in Illinois, but we call them low gaps or saddles, where the hills, like two hollows, will come up together. There'll be a big low spot in a ridge line. They like to cross those. Deer are very lazy animals, really. They're like a cow. A big buck is like just an old cow. Obviously they're going to try to take the easiest route they can without spending too much energy. That's the kind of stuff I look for. But I'll mark, like the buck I killed this year. I actually got him on 5 different cameras. So I sat down on a map and I'd write down what time, or mark it, where he was at what time. And I would try to figure out, looking at a line and lay of the land, that, man, this is where he's got to be coming from because he's going by this camera first and then this one and then this one. So I use maps a lot, and I use, we all have that cell phone apps, I use Hunt Stand. Obviously there's Onyx Stand. There's all kinds of different
we
ones.
Use Hunt Stand.
Yeah, that's what I used to. But, I believe that you can do a lot of scouting and never enter the woods the first time. That's how I hunt public land in Ohio some, and I don't spend a lot of time scouting over there because I'm not going to take it away from my family because I do so much in the summer here in Kentucky. But that's how I do it. I hunt with maps. I just what I think looks like would be a good place, then I'll go in there and I've never killed a big buck in Ohio. I should have this year. I let him go. He outsmarted me, but I guessed right. I just didn't finish the deal.
Yeah, it's hard to, and your line of work. I know that you're on call, and you could take your layoff days, but after that, you're pretty much there. Same thing with us. Like, people are like, you can't call in sick. I'm like, if I call in sick, I'm gonna be so far behind the next day when I get there. You can, but you can't do it like repeatedly. It's like your position is so important that you need to be there. When you go on vacation, they're planning people to come in and cover for you. You know what I mean? It's that kind of deal.
Yeah, that's right.
So I understand what you're saying.
So I just spend a lot of time and that's something you can do at work, or a lot of nights I'll lay in bed, looking at maps, trying to figure out. I just try to, in my mind, my papa told me one time, I never deer hunted. Got to deer hunt with him. He never deer hunted in his life. He was a big rabbit hunter, and he was talking about my dad, and he said, "Your dad reads too much." And I I said, he does. He said, yeah. He said, if you want to kill a deer, he said, you have to think like a deer. He said, that's how I rabbit hunt. He said, I'll just be walking and be like, boy, that looks like a good place for a rabbit. And I'll just kick a rabbit out of there, So I try to use that mentality too, if I was if I was a deer, what would I do? How would I move through this? Or because it is hot and it is, or obviously chasing ladies. Where would I find my ladies? How would I chase them around? So I just try to use common sense more than anything.
Yeah, that buck I shot this year. There's one spot in the fence where it's down, and I told homie, I said, deer gonna come right out of the hair. He had to hop a 6-inch fence, and he could have hopped anywhere else with more coverage, but he just went right there where the fence was down to 6 inches and came right through.
Yeah, they're very, people don't really take that into consideration, but they are very lazy. Obviously, they live on their feet every day, so they know, they know where the easy routes are. They're not going to climb up some cliff if they got an easy point just around the corner. Like you said, you knew he was going to come through that fence because it required less effort.
Yep. And then you see a lot of those people on Facebook that they have like a gate opening or something, and they're hunting it, or they got a trail cam by it, and it's just fire. It's just,
oh yeah.
You're like, man, there's just a gate opening in the middle of nowhere, and there's just deer walking through it during the daylight and stuff. You're like, what?
At down trees, anything like that.
Yeah.
A down tree, well, they'll walk around a down tree instead of just hopping over it. We all know they can just hop over it, but
I asked that question about funneling deer with a trail cam on Twitter, and I'm going to try that. We're going to plan a plot this year, and I'm going to try to put a food plot or a trail camera on the south side of it where we don't want them to hang out, and see if that'll push them to the north where we want them to hang out. Because there's a lot of people on there that said that trail cam would alter their movement. So the bucks move it. So I'm hoping that they veer around that, don't hang on the south side of it, and they come up to the north.
Do you think it'll scare them before they even get a chance to get to
No,
the
they
north?
were telling me that it alter them like 15, 20 feet is what they're seeing. So
I don't know. I mean, I'm up in arms about that. Like I said, I don't read into too much. I try to keep it simple. I try not to get fancy out there because it is a deer. It's an animal. Now the buck I killed in 2016, was it my trail camera? I don't know, but I honestly thought he was coming from a different direction. And the first time I saw him, it's because he was circling around the backside of my camera. Instead of walking straight in front of it, he would circle around the backside of my camera and come in.
yeah.
So I thought he was coming in from the right. He was actually coming in from the left. So was it my camera? I don't know. I mean, the big one I killed, it didn't seem to bother him, a camera. The deer I killed this year, the camera didn't seem to bother him. But sometimes I do hang them high. I like to hang them. I'm 5'10", so I'll stand there and I'll just reach my arms up. How high that is. I mean, I don't even measure, but I reach up and that's where I hang my camera at.
I think that's a good idea.
And I tell you another thing, I think that it helps with theft of your trail cameras because most people are just looking at eye level.
Yeah, that's true.
Most of your cameras are probably stolen just because, hey, look, there's a trail camera.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
or they're not supposed to be there and they see it and they're like, well, do I steal the card or I just take the camera? I got to steal one way or the other, so I might as well just take the camera.
Yeah. Well, I need that.
Yeah.
But,
so
I mean, will it help? I don't know. You can try it. That's the worst thing. Worst thing can happen is it doesn't move them the way you want them to.
Yeah.
And you're going to get a ton of pictures.
You're still going to get a bunch of pictures, but then, I mean, you're still putting a camera on a plot. But my game plan in
so
my
you're
mind.
going to sacrifice 2 cameras?
Yeah.
One is like a dummy cam almost.
Yeah.
What if we put a dummy?
We'll put a dummy cam there.
We got a dummy cam?
Well, people don't. That's a good thing we could do. People don't know if it's the flash or the light or what it is, but we got that dummy camera that I got a couple dummy cameras that I put on public just to defer people from hunting in an area because they think that it's hunted. But there's literally no batteries, no nothing in the camera. It's just a blank camera. So.
Oh, I thought I thought you meant it was the camera that homie used.
Yeah,
No, but
it's one I can
I'm sorry.
operate.
But yeah, my game plan is run a camera on one end and then run a scrape on the other and try to draw them to that north. Because I feel like they're going to hang up on that hillside down towards the creek and just feed right there on the edge of that grass and not come up.
Yeah, I
You think
try,
they're gonna come in the
I
beans?
try a lot.
Yeah, they're coming in the beans, but I feel like they're going to hang up on the south side there.
Not
Yeah,
get up to
I-
where. No, I was just saying, you think they're going to hang down there by the creek where we're going to put the stand
Yeah.
instead of getting up in the actual plot and getting close to the blind that we're going to have there.
Yeah.
That's what you think?
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to put a cam on the south to push them?
That's my game. I'm going to just game plan, see if it works.
All right. Well,
Hey,
try it
like
out.
I said, and that's something else I firmly believe in. People, some of my tactics and stuff, people think I'm crazy, but I'll try anything. You're really not going to run them off. The thing that's going to run them off is if they see you,
Yeah.
or you pressure them. But throwing things out there and trying off the wall stuff, I hear peanut butter works.
oh boy.
Yeah. You're talking
know.
the Southern boys' language on the Snapchat, bro.
Yeah.
When they hear that, they're going to be like, yeah, that's my brother.
Yeah, I mean, but I'll throw anything at them. I mean, if I think it might give me advantage 1 minute that I need to take a shot, then hey, throw me in, buddy, because I'll try it.
Dude, Paul will swear by the peanut butter.
Yeah.
Some people do, and Primos even makes one called something peanut butter. It's got peanut butter in it.
Nice. So when are you seeing a lot of your bucks that you have early season in velvet? Are you seeing when they shed? Are they leaving, or are 50% of them staying around, or do you have a lot of newcomers? What's that kind of look like for you?
Honestly, at my farm, during the summer, I don't house a lot of bucks for some reason. I house every lady in the country, though. So I keep the ladies on that farm, and mid-October, watch out, because there's going to be a new buck on camera every single day. I mean, the bucks just start herding in. It's crazy. The pieces I've been hunting have been successful on this last couple years. Really, they're kind of sticking around. What's there is there, and they don't travel off very far. But now, like I said, I've been successful in September. So this past year, by that 1st October, my cameras were out of the woods. I was done.
Yeah, being a $1 state, I mean, I can't imagine. And that, like you said, you're traveling to Ohio and trying to get it done there too. But I was talking to homie about that today. I was like, if you got it done early, it'd be awesome. It'd be great to be done, but then you'd be at a point where you're like, I got to do something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you have to hunt the rut.
Yeah, you
mean,
got to hunt the rut, right?
In 2017, I hunted Kentucky without a tag, like without a gun. during
Just
the
to get
rut.
out there,
I had to be in a stand because I like to learn from them. I love to run my cameras on video during the rut because I love to catch their sounds and the different things they do. So I just go out there and hang out and sit in a stand. No tag, no weapon. Just go to go.
Yeah,
That's pretty sick.
just trying to learn. Yeah,
Yeah.
that is pretty sweet.
Yeah, but it's just so much different. The early season and the late or the mid, whatever you want to call it, the rut part. They're just so much different that during the rut, obviously your bucks. You may get a buck on camera on this camera, and then your buddy sends a picture 2 days later, and he's a mile down the road.
Yeah.
So I figure the way I've learned it here in the last couple of years is my bucks have been sticking around. But like I said, I haven't been doing a whole lot during the rut either.
So we seen the video of you shooting your giant. That it was 177, right?
No, that wasn't my video. That wasn't that deer. I didn't video that one.
Oh, what
I
was
got
that?
a
Was your
couple-
last season deer?
Yeah.
Man, where'd it go? It was pretty big.
Yeah.
He's I haven't actually officially taped him. He's still with the taxidermist. He's finished. I just haven't picked him up. He's between 155 and 160.
And
My taxidermist says 160. I thought 155. So he's
Yeah.
in that range somewhere.
Yeah.
He lacks point length. I mean, he's got
Mhm.
he does have over inch circumference measurements all the way out. But he's got 12 points, but he just don't have.
You got to have it all to get up there, man.
Right.
I learned
Yeah,
that.
he doesn't
I learned
have-
that. You
Yeah,
look
he
at him,
doesn't
you're
have
like,
10-inch tines.
Yeah.
He doesn't have 10, 11-inch tines. So,
Mhm.
but he was a great deer, and I'd shoot him more.
For sure.
But he went. That's the video I sent you where I said that. I actually watched him 9 minutes before I got to shoot that.
Nice. That's a hard quartering away shot. I shot a
Yeah.
buck like that, real hard quartering away. And when you tuck it in behind that rib, you're like, that thing is just done. Because there's no way
Yeah.
I didn't hit something. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah,
So-
a lot of people. I guess that was before we actually got to know each other on Twitter. A lot of people told me that I took a bad shot there. I practiced that shot.
Yeah, so do
practice-
we. Yeah.
I practice a lot. I mean, during the summer I do. I mean, I'm not like these some guys go out and shoot 100, 200 arrows a day. I'll go out and shoot 25, 30 arrows in a day. And then I'll put my bow up and really I pay attention to my first one.
Yeah.
Because that's the one that matters.
Mhm.
But I practice that. I practice. I will not shoot a deer quartering to me. It will not happen. I don't care what happens. I don't care if it's the world record. I'm not shooting him quartering to me. So if he gives me a steep quartering away shot or whatever, I just have to take it because that's what I practice.
Yeah, I think a quartering away shot is, to me, is a better shot than a broadside shot, man. Because you're gonna
you
get
get a lot.
in there, and I mean, a broadside shot. I mean, you could hit high, or you could hit. If you're quartering away, you're gonna get into something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially
More
if
than
you're out of
likely,
a
you're gonna
stand,
do
you're
a
gonna
lot.
and you're gonna get. You go through so much, that there's just. You just do so much carnage in there. The only bad thing about quartering away is you might not get a pass through like you would on on a broadside shot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's what happened to me this year. That's the reason I backed out. I shot him, and this is the first year I ever videoed. I have two really good friends, and they're starting to do some video stuff, and they begged me, and I was like, nah, I ain't gonna do it. I ain't. Anyways, they begged me and badgered me enough to where I was like, I tell you what, I'll do it, but I'm not buying a camera. I'm not buying a camera arm. I'm not doing all that. So they was like, well, we got all that. You just need to video. And I was like, okay. So they actually set it all up, and all I had to do was take the camera in and out of the woods.
Nice.
But I got to video it. It was a great experience. I loved it.
You nailed it for your first time, man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, what I liked the most about it was, like I said, once I shot, I looked at the video on the camera, and I knew I hit the deer. I wasn't real sure how good I hit him. So I called my buddy, and I was like, hey, meet me at the truck. Bring your laptop. He brought it, and we reviewed the footage there, and we could tell that I'd eat the deer up. So we went back in after that. It was about an hour. Obviously, he didn't make it very far.
Now, when you bury to the fletching, you're like, okay, yeah, I got 20 inches in him. I'm good to go. So.
Yeah, I actually shot him just in front of the left hip on the backside.
Yeah.
And the butcher had to dig my broadhead out of the front right shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. You always aim for that opposite shoulder when you're doing that quarter way shot, and you know that you're get in there and get both lungs and do some carnage.
I got a little gut because I hit him so far back. I had to. I got liver, both lungs, and I just missed the heart. I mean, I just was off the heart.
Yeah.
So,
but you probably, you tore the arteries from the heart, going through there. So, if you get both lungs on a deer, it's over. If you're shooting any kind of a broadhead, even at an inch and eighth, about small as you get. If you shoot that through both lungs, it ain't going far.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's a fact. I mean, like I said, that's the first filming experience I'd ever had, and it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it.
You gonna film this year?
Yeah, I plan on it.
Nice.
I don't know what. I mean, I'll never do it. Like I said, we've talked before. I'll never do it for a job. But I'll do it for me. I love it. I'll always have the memory now.
Mm-hmm.
I'll always be able to always be able to get that SD card out and look at it and go, man, look at that. That's awesome. You know?
Yeah, and then you could show guys like me, and I'm like, yeah, smoked him.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun, man, you know.
Yeah.
But you got Mr. Freeze on camera, didn't you?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, we got him.
That's good.
We're excited.
Homie got all those does on camera.
Yes.
Yeah. We're excited to release all our film and see what people think. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, you know, I've mentioned him a couple times, my buddy Kyle. He is amazing with a camera and editing. And I mean, you know, actually, he gave up his rut this year in Kentucky. Or not Kentucky, but gave up his rut in our area because he went and filmed for somebody who hunts for Drury Brothers.
Nice.
I think the guy's name was Steve France.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Not 100% sure on that, but I think that's what it was. And I mean, he's just amazing with the camera. So he's going to put all mine together for me. I'm not a tech savvy guy, you know. Kudos to homie because I'm not tech savvy.
He's putting in work, you know. We try to break this up 50-50 on the podcast front, but he's really took the film and editing on himself.
Yeah.
Props to him, man. I told him, I said, I want to be there and help you out. And he's like, well, I'm on nights and I ain't got a lot to do, so I'm going to just, you know, go for it. I'm like, all right. And the stuff he's putting out is really good. So
it takes a lot of skill, man. It takes a lot of patience and skill and you know, creative imagination. That's something I don't have.
yeah.
So I can't get creative with that stuff like, you know, like these guys that just do amazing stuff.
Yeah, we got a lot of that. We bounce ideas back and forth. I think I give him too much creative. And I'm like, we got to make this happen.
Right?
And he's like, that's going to be a pain in the ass. Or I'm like, you got to switch this. I'm kind of a tough critic, but he understands that we're trying to make the best possible outcome of what we got. And and like I tell him, whatever it is what it is, you know. So,
Yeah.
And you all went to Badlands too, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did. Yeah. Super
that
solid.
probably gave you a lot of ideas.
Yeah, that's different. That's kind of a whole nother level.
It
of
wasn't
filming.
what I was expecting it was going to be.
Yeah.
That was more like
That's more like a cinematographic
documentary type deal.
type story with a lot of voiceover.
Yeah, it wasn't like show us your most badass hunt ever. It was like,
I mean, there was
what
some
are you feeling?
Yeah, there were some super badass hunts on there. Don't get me wrong, but people really try to get a compelling, like, feeling story there. You know what I mean? Yeah. Which is good, and I actually really like that better than a lot of hunting shows. But I figured I thought it'd be more deer and less like cinematographic pretty shots. You know, like a lot of slow-mo, a lot of time lapses of like sunsets, night size, a lot of full draw scenes in slow motion, you know, just epic. You know, if you imagine epic films like where you're just like, the whole time you're like,
one badass shot after another.
Yeah, this badass shot. I mean, for that, we can't even compete. Not even close.
No.
Yeah. Someone asked if we're going to put one in this year, and I was like, you're talking to the wrong guy, man. We need years. We need years of experience to even apply to something like that.
We're podcasters, right? We're not filmers.
Yeah. I mean, I think we're good at, and it's been drived in our mind that we need to tell a story. We need to tell a story, you know. And I think we're really good at that. But our film just needs to catch up to our creative minds.
We just need to take more time and put it as a priority.
Yeah, and part of it was we really didn't know how we wanted to film. We didn't know what our mission was when we started filming this year, and we figured it out by the end of the season. So next year going in, we'll be able to get a lot more shots and think about stuff because it's really hard to reproduce something after the fact. You know what I mean? So we'll be able to figure out kind of the storyline we want to do for something and then go from there. So, and we already got, we got shots for bucks that we haven't even shot for yet. You know what I mean? We got a piece of ground we got a bunch of shots for hopefully one of us kills a buck off it next year because it's going to be epic. Right. But it's just going to be stored in the data bank until we do. But so.
Well, that's what I enjoyed about it. Kyle done his thing, filmed, making food plots, checking cameras, all the stuff that tells the story of how it works. But it was just a lot of fun. I thought it was a little bit of a challenge, something different for me. I've always just went and climbed in the stand, sat there until deer comes by. If it don't, you get down, you go home.
Yeah.
But it gives me a chance to spin a camera, film a chipmunk,
Get you a little
whatever.
entertainment on the slow days too.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I didn't have any slow days. Honestly, where I hung my stand this year was absolutely the craziest out there. I mean, I was hoping the deer would leave me alone because, after 45 minutes to an hour of not moving, it's time to move. I got to stretch this leg. I got to do something. And then, some of these deer, man, they were just hanging right there. It's like, oh, come on, go, please. So it was a lot of fun. It was a very, very humbling, learning lesson for me too. I enjoyed it. I learned a lot watching smaller deer. It's something different for me, and I loved it. I would never knock somebody for not doing it. I would never knock somebody for doing it. But everybody should try it at least once, that filming stuff, and it's different.
So with you hunting the early season, are you like a scent control freak, or how are you taking that approach?
Well, we all worry about scent. Well, not all, but most of us big buck hunters, we worry about scent. I do. I'm a very, very big scent lock person. I actually got my first pair of scent lock way back. I don't even know how old I was. I was probably 15. They were like sweats, and they were heavy, and but it worked, and every since then. So, you're looking at 25 years or so. I have every season I have my scent lock on. I believe in it. People think I'm crazy. That's just another one of those things. I love it. I swear by it. But staying cool, obviously you're going to sweat when it's 90 degrees. So I use a lot of like spray extend eliminator stuff, and that's how I keep cool. I might spray 15 times in a set if it's hot, because I'll just spray down my head, my upper body around my neck and stuff. I spray down, and when the wind just barely blows, it kind of keeps you cool.
Yeah.
But the wind, I try to plan everything around which way the wind normally blows that time of year. And if the wind's blowing wrong, I just don't go. I mean, so I am a scent control freak.
Yeah, I've always known about carbon and how it worked, but I really dug into it just actually the past couple of weeks when I've been extremely bored on winter coverage at work. But I was reading an article where ScentLock got challenged like 15, 20 years ago, and they were in a lawsuit, and they sent it to some lab somewhere, and I'm probably getting this wrong, but the lab found out that there's enough carbon in a ScentLock suit to get 96 to 99% of human odor for 24 hours. There's 10 times the amount of that. So you're good for 240 hours with a ScentLock suit is what they're saying. And then they went on to say that if you had one like coffee can of carbon, and you took every molecule and laid it out flat that would absorb odor, it'd cover 100 acres. And I was like, wow. So he's like, if you took 1 gallon of carbon and spread it out on the ground and then deciphered every piece of carbon out that could absorb odor, it'd cover 100 acres. I was like, wow. When you think about that, and there's 10 times what your body can produce in 24 hours in a ScentLock suit. So,
yeah, the way I learned it back in the time, my dad, like I said, always read. He thought, man, he said, let's try this, so we bought it, and I had I don't know, he was probably 100-inch, 8-point, and he come directly downwind to me, and he never even paid no mind to me, like I wasn't even there. And that's when I become a firm believer in it, and I've got it for early season, I've got it for mid season, I've got it for late season, anything and everything. It's got I'm a firm believer in. Now the last couple of years I've switched a little bit. I still wear ScentLock, but I also went to merino wool. I wear merino wool in early season. It's very light. It dries like a champ. I mean,
Nice. That's
I set
key in
through
early
a-
season. Yeah.
yeah, I
Some
set
of our
through a-
early sets, I'm just sweating like crazy when we get to the stand.
Yeah, I use First Light. Of course, there's a million different, brands. My wife, I'm the type of person when I find something, I stay there. I don't jump around.
Yep.
And I told my wife that I wanted something lightweight, wool, kind of keep me warm. And she bought me a First Light shirt, and I loved it. So I just bought more. But I sat through I should have probably got down. If my wife knew that I sat through a storm like I did in a tree stand, she would probably kill me. But I mean, my tree was leaning, lightning striking, and here I am laying in a tree stand. But I got soaked, needless to say, and that was this year. And 30 minutes, man, I was like, man, this is cool. I'm dry. The wind started blowing, and I dried out, and so I like it. And I wear it during the sun, the hot time when I wear
I've
it.
heard a lot of good stuff about it. There's a lot of people using it right
Yeah.
now, so
Yeah,
it's got to be some good stuff. So
yeah. But as far as scent, man, in my honest opinion, homie, everything is based on scent. Everything.
got to be. So all
I
right,
mean,
man. We're gonna
those
have to
big
wrap
monster
this
ducks.
up, dude.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Well, before we wrap this up, I'm telling this story because I know you want to know it.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Oh, bring it.
The buck I killed in 2009 or 2017. Like I told you earlier, I found him in December. He was about 160 or 165 inches. I didn't get his other side, so the side I have was 87 inches, I think. He's 14 and a half inches wide. Calculate that in, then give him some on the other side. He was around 160ish. Anyways. I found him. I try to keep him close. I mean, I fed him apples. I fed him carrots. Anything that I thought that you might keep him around. But I got a ton of pictures of him. You've seen a bunch, and he had a hole in one of his ears, and it looked on camera. It looked like a bullet hole. So I started calling him close call. Because if that was a bullet hole, then obviously somebody shot at him, and he had a close call with death. I don't name my deer very often, but that one just made sense to me, so that's what I called him. So, anyways, I kept up with him religiously. I mean, I knew his every movement. I just every time the camera, triggered, I had to know. So our season come in early September last year, or 2017, and 2 days before that, I mean, I had him daylighting on camera 2 days before season came in, and I knew then I was going to kill my first booner opening day. Just knew it. So I got on Twitter, and I asked a question, because I actually may have been Facebook. Anyways, it don't matter. But I asked a question because I'd never experienced it. How do you get a buck out of the woods in velvet? Because when I drag one, I just drag him with his antlers. So I thought, how am I going to get this horse out of the woods? Because he was a horse. How am I going to get him out of the woods? Well, people started making fun of me. So I just kind of whatever, I knew in my mind that I was killing him opening day. No questions asked. Opening evening, I was still on my tag. So I had everything prepared. I took off work. Opening evening came. I was in the, I was in the blind. I was in the blind hunting again. And he never came. So I thought, well, so second day of season, he never came. He disappeared. So I thought, well, in my mind, he's shedding his velvet. He'll be back in a couple days. And when he came back, it was probably, a few, I don't know, 5-6 days later, he was nocturnal on me. He'd started moving at night. And I thought, now what am I going to do? So I continued to hunt him there a little bit. And on September the 14th, I was there. And he disappeared. He was gone. I mean, I never saw him. And he just plumb disappeared. Never come in at night, never on my cameras, never nothing. And I thought, a deer like that, obviously maybe somebody poached him, maybe he got hit by a car, maybe anything, maybe he decided to go back where it came from. So I have I have a cell phone camera. It's the only one I ever owned. I had it there set up, and I had my son at football practice on September the 26th. and my phone dinged. 4 o'clock in the afternoon, in the evening. My phone dinged, so I pull it out and I look at it, and there he stands. And I thought, uh-oh, here's my one chance to get him in the daylight, and here I am at football practice. So I thought, it turned me back on to him because I'd quit hunting. I just completely quit hunting because he hadn't even showed up on camera. And September the 27th, I hunted. The 28th, I hunted. Nothing. So the 29th, I told my wife and I were planning on going out that evening. And the weather, just all of a sudden, there was a big cool front moved in, and the weather dropped that day down into the 60s. And I learned something from my deer in 2016. The day before I killed him, I was walking in, and I saw him fighting. He was actually fighting underneath an apple tree on September the 14th or whatever day it was. And I thought, there's got to be something. If he's going to fight, obviously, they're starting to peck around in dominance. Obviously they weren't having at it, big old brawl, but he was, tinkling around there. So I took a set of antlers with me on September 29th. I told my wife, I said, I'm just going to get in the stand for, a couple hours. I promise I'll come out. I texted her while I was there, and I was like, dude, this is so evening. This is the perfect evening. It's so quiet, so cool. And I was like, this is so awesome. So I get my antlers out. After she gave me permission to stay, she's like, it's okay if you stay. I won't get mad. So I got my antlers out about 6:15 or so, and I just tinkled them together, just barely tinkled them together. And about 6:30, I heard what sounded like a human coughing. I mean, it's what it sounded like. It was like a bleh, and I was like, what in the world? And I thought, well, maybe somebody's roaming the hills. They've ruined my day. I'll just go out with the wife, whatever. And about 10 minutes later or so, it was about 6:40, I had a spot come off the hill, and he was coming right at me. And he come on out into the open. And I could see back in the timber, and here come another little buck. He was a little 8-point. And I just got to focusing in that area, and I seen that deer drop his head. He dropped his head and he picked it up, and I knew at that second the deer I've been waiting for was headed right at me. And he come out 18 yards and swung around and gave me a quarter and away shot too. And I shot. Obviously, I killed him. I went and found him, and somebody tried to poach him. He'd been shot in the top front shoulders. So obviously the reason he disappeared on me is because he was licking his wounds. He was trying to heal his body because somebody shot with a small caliber rifle. And anyways, it cost me my cape. I had to get a whole new cape because of it. But
wow.
I got lucky that they obviously didn't. They weren't lucky. But that's what I was telling you, man. That's how easy it is. It's so easy to lose a big deer like that because people are so jealous and they want to hunt. And I think actually I got the gunshot. I think I got it on camera because I got a little small buck on camera on video, and you can hear a gunshot.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I mean that's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah.
But, somebody tried to poach him, man. That's when I found him, I found the wound, and of course I took him to the butcher and stuff. But my taxidermist looked it all over, and that's what it was. Somebody tried to poach him.
Yeah, I've lost 3 really solid bucks the last 3 years, and they're always close to the road or right on the edge of my property. I'm like, man, why do these deer just keep dying? They're like really solid 3-4 year olds. I'm like, I don't, but that's what I keep thinking is someone either wounds them or someone, because that road my lease is on,
not a highly traveled
road. It's gravel for 8 miles each direction. So I don't know. And there's really no houses. If there was one out there in that field, I mean so I could just see him shooting them.
What I figure, of course, we're still in September. I killed him on September 29th, 2017. There's no gun season even close. Our gun season doesn't come until November. So I think either a squirrel hunter jumped him up or saw him and shot him, with a 22, or somebody just tried to shoot him from the road or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he had 18 scoreable points, and he scored 177 and 7/8
Yeah, that's a giant, man.
Yeah.
at 14.5 inches wide.
Wow. A lot of scoreable points. A lot
Right.
of stuff going on in there.
Yeah. So I mean, it is. But I told you I had a story about him that but it's the whole point of the story is he was almost poached. I almost never got my chance.
Yeah. Yeah. You never know with them. Like Mr. Freeze this year, the neighbors were just shooting up a storm. And then
man.
two of them were like, yeah, we missed. One said I missed a giant. One said I missed a legend. I was like, oh, what's a legend?
Yeah, that was Friday. Friday after the morning hunt. They're
I
like,
missed a legend. I'm like, oh, God.
192. Ain't that what Mr. Freeze scored?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a legend, brother.
Yeah, I was like, oh man, they might have missed that deer. I don't know, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they're like, I missed a legend. I'm like, oh God, you're on the wrong side of the fence, brother. So,
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I love it. That my point. If I had to tell somebody today how to hunt, I would tell them keep secrets.
yeah, that's a good.
I keep secrets.
No one knew about that deer, really. I mean, a few people did, but no one that was hunting around me. And then even after I shot it, people were like, whoa, where'd you shoot that? We ain't got no trail cam pictures of him or whatever. I'm like, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
People were blown away by that. I'm like, I don't know. He was there.
That's my biggest.
I was hunting. So.
And that's, you got to keep secrets because, even your buddies will, you think are your buddies will, they'll come right in on top of you for a deer like that.
Yeah, tell me about it. Homie was out there hunting all year.
Yeah. Well, it's a good thing he ain't very good at it.
Yeah, right. We'd have had a whole mess of worms.
Oh.
It's a good thing he's technology guy.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I'm getting kept around.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got to produce these videos for him.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
I got to erase the high fence in the background.
Yeah.
I don't know who all listens to these, or whatever. I never really listened to a whole lot of podcasts before, 3 or 4 months ago. I still don't only listen to 2. This is one of them. But, hey, man, y'all do a wonderful job. I love listening to it because it's a joke, a lot of times, but there's serious information in it or serious talks, but it's a lot of joke, and I love it.
Yeah, 90% of the time it's a joke. We've actually been called out and said this podcast is a joke. It was so awesome.
I mean, it's a lot of fun to listen to, and y'all do a wonderful job, really.
Thanks, man. We try to keep it light, give a little intel, and if we're not having fun, no one listening is going to have fun. You know what I mean? That's the way we look at it. And really, we're spending our time doing this, and it's fun to us. If this wasn't fun, we wouldn't be doing it, because the trade-off isn't that great. I mean, we get to meet guys like you is a great part, you know what I mean, and become friends. So
yeah, and then you have fun, and that's the fun. Like you said, that's the fun part. It's but y'all have a good one. I enjoy it. I like the ATA, driving and homie not learning how to drive.
Yeah, about killed us twice. Once looking in the ditch on the way there, and then once we got sideways on a bridge.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I do drive a Dodge, so
too much power.
Yeah.
If the Chevy with my tires, we wouldn't have slipped one time.
We'd have had to been in 4-wheel drive.
I'll tell you that.
Dodge was 2-wheel all the way.
But yeah. I mean, y'all do a great job. It's a lot of fun.
Thanks, man. Well, thanks for following us. Thanks for following us on Snapchat and Twitter and all of it. We have a good time, and I'm gonna keep pounding Twitter and
I think I have you on every platform.
Heck yes.
Yes.
I gotta know what my John's doing, man. I get my connection with my friends. I'm like, oh, John ain't commented today. What is he doing? You know what I mean? Like, where is this guy?
Yeah, he must be grounded.
Yep.
He hasn't put his 2 cents on my post. I don't know what's going on. So,
a matter of fact, I think I even got on you for not posting quick enough.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, my schedule app is broken, so I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have to post every day like a normal Twitter person.
Yeah, I told him. I said you're just gonna have to go on there and post it. I had to post today.
You could do that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, it's been great, man. I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, it's been a good time, man. Thanks for coming on. I think we spread a lot of early season knowledge, had a lot of fun, and if you guys want to follow someone, this is a good guy to follow. What's your Twitter handle?
Which one's that? Is that just my name?
Yeah, it's
No, it's at JWD.
Oh yeah, JWD. Yeah.
JDW
Yeah.
9278.
927. Yeah, follow him on Twitter. It's hilarious. If you want to get into the Snapchat group, that's a high priority group, man. I don't know how many people we can add on that.
15.
15?
Yeah.
Oh, man, I don't know if I can handle anymore.
So if you're in there, you better be doing your part to hold your key.
So we appreciate you, man.
Hey, man, I appreciate you. Anytime.
Yeah. All right. Man, John's got it going on. He knows what he's doing early season. The guy knows how to crack a joke.
Yes.
He's savage. He seems nice, but he's got a savage side, which we really like. Follow him on Twitter. He puts his Twitter handle in here in the episode. Definite guy. He's always spreading knowledge and telling jokes and having a good time. He's also on Facebook, I think, and he's in our Snapchat group. So if you guys want it on that, you have to give us a message and see. It's a pretty elite group of I don't even know how to describe it.
I don't either.
But I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I know I had a fun time recording it. So
yeah,
get out there. You can't hunt, so I can't say that anymore. But get out there and shed hunt and take your kids with and try to leave a legacy. And Whitetail Legacy's out.